All right, it's the Super Centex Podcast with Chad and Michael. I'm Bryce.
I kind of half suspected we'd be done this week.
True that. Instead, it is week 17 and we're still going. Speaking of still going, Michael is literally going out to Hamilton on his birthday.
It's his
Happy
birthday.
birthday,
He
Michael.
he never stops working. In lieu of a happy
Man,
birthday today, I just sent him a emoji of a basketball and a syringe.
yep, yep, yep.
I
Well, thank
love
you
it.
guys. Appreciate that.
I
Appreciate
love
that.
it. Yep. All right. Well, let's talk about Hamilton.
The
Yeah,
Hamilton Bulldogs
yeah.
and I this is interesting. The Hamilton Bulldogs versus the Joaquin Phoenixes.
You're such a dork. Here's you remember when Joaquin Phoenix when he was in Gladiator? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
here's what I would say to that joke.
I
Uh,
knew you were gonna hate it. I had that joke ready to go as soon as I looked him up earlier.
gosh, we're
I
off.
had I got into maps and I tried to figure out where Joaquin, Texas is.
Right.
It's closer to Shreveport than Nacogdoches, I believe.
Wow.
So
Yep,
it's
that
way
is
out
correct.
there.
Way out.
Way the crap out there. All right, so Hamilton will play for its first football state championship in school history on Wednesday night against Joaquin, not the Phoenixes, in the Class 2A Division One state game. Um, I think even with Hamilton reaching the state semifinals last year, it has carried an underdog mentality in the playoffs for sure. That has worked well, including back-to-back wins over state-ranked Axtell, state-ranked Stinnett, West Texas. Y'all were at that game the other night. Meanwhile, talk about underdogs. Joaquin went 6-4 in the regular season. Now they've won five in a row in the playoffs, including arguably the biggest upset in the state last week, knocking off number one Refugio 37-28. So,
Yeah, they got a little bit of a playoff team of destiny feel about them.
yeah, no doubt.
Especially
Cinderella's
since, did you guys see how they won the other night?
no, you can
Yes.
let me ask
It
my
was
question
football.
and then you can get into it.
Got to
So,
follow the script.
well, I just want to ask the question. So,
Okay,
how
all
does
right, all right.
Hamilton carry this same underdog mindset when it's going up against another David instead of Goliath?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a good question.
So tell us
Um,
about how Joaquin won.
well, and Michael, maybe you can verify this. This is what I seem to have found
Yeah.
on Max Preps. I tried to look on like the Nacogdoches website, and it's 50 miles from Nacogdoches, so I'm sure that paper is not big enough to have as big of a coverage area as we have. So anyway, I have to kind of rely on the Max Preps uh, account of it. And apparently, they recovered two onside kicks in the fourth
Yep.
quarter. Basically, didn't give Refugio the ball back,
Yeah.
and
And
won
They
the
did.
fourth
And,
quarter 30-8.
go for broke.
correct. Yeah.
I mean, go for
Yeah.
broke if you're in that situation. And that's man, I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was definitely two onside kicks recovered, and like you said, 30 points in that fourth quarter. They had only scored 7 points the entire game before that, so that was
Mm-hmm.
what allowed them to kind of win. And to answer Bryce's question, I mean,
All right,
Okay, so we're getting a
the
little bit of
ultimate
West
giant,
Texas
right?
reception
So I
there,
think.
but
Oh, sorry. Well,
no, that's okay.
I was saying, so so Joaquin took out the top dog here, right? So I think if you're Hamilton, you're kind of thinking, well, heck, a lot of people are probably going to roll with Joaquin now because they've been, they beat the best. So that in a way kind of keeps Hamilton as an underdog. Now I don't know what like the statewide predictions are going to be on this game and whatnot. Maybe more people are picking Hamilton than I'm giving them credit for. But if to answer Bryce's question, I think if you're Hamilton, you're probably still feeling like an underdog because you have this Joaquin team that's hot, playing its best
Hmm.
football of the year, and just took down the team that everyone thought was going to roll to the whole thing.
I definitely see that side of it. I mean, they beat Refugio, and everybody goes, "Oh, wow!" But man, those of us that watched Hamilton against Tenet, West Texas last Thursday night, I think we all kind of had our eyes opened at the sort of versatility that Hamilton showed. They weren't just sort of this country boy 3 yards in a cloud of dust, situation. Although they did play good, hard country boy defense. And I tell you who Greg Tepper and Matt Stepp were oohing and awing over was coach's son Marwitz at linebacker. And the way that freshman, and of course the fans are over there chanting, "He's a freshman," like they do so much of the time. But Hamilton's passing game, and Eanes,
Devin Eanes.
Devin Eanes. Yep. I'll tell you what, he wasn't sitting back in his Eanes chair. He was getting after it.
Wow, you are full
that one was worse.
That one was much worse. Yeah, I tend to agree with y'all that look, first of all, whatever mentality you have, I mean, you just want to go out and try to find a way to win this game. These opportunities obviously are rare and unprecedented for Hamilton. And so, whatever you have to do to get yourself up for this one. I mean, I don't think it's that hard to get up for the state game in Jerryworld. So, yeah, you mentioned it. We've all three gotten to see Hamilton play now a few times. To me, they're pretty balanced overall, but who would you say their best player is?
Okay. Good question. Michael, you want to take a stab at that first?
Yeah, I think we already mentioned his name, but I think Devin Eanes is the first guy that comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that Marwitz kid on defense, Chad, as you mentioned, I mean, he's filling the stat sheet maybe better than anyone on that roster, when it comes to what he does on that. I mean, I think ever since he moved up to varsity, like 3 games into the year, he's had double-digit tackles every game. He's well over 100 now at this point, and he's going to be he's just a real force behind that defensive line. But Devin Eanes, man, what he can do with that ball when he just gets open, his route running is really good, and once he gets it, it's like he's very slippery, and he's got this long stride to it. He kind of leaps and bounds around, DBs and stuff. It's really fun to watch. I think he's the one that comes to mind, and in terms of just what gives that offense some ability to really get rolling.
Well, I think, if you watch him at the end of the game, and like when I went back through my photos, he was in so many, he was around the ball so much of the time on offense and defense. The other thing is, when they won that game, he was kind of their bell cow. He was the guy running around and everybody was following him, and the posing and the celebrating and everything they did, he was kind of right in the middle of it. So he's kind of, that's just leadership that you can see in sort of like flashy ways. I don't know, I don't know this team well enough to know that he's that maybe type of leader play after play, but you get some indication that he probably is. You got to talk about Halston Hale as well, though, because he had a big time 80-yard run and their quarterback and now
Carson Roberts.
Yeah. Just kept their offense rolling and kept putting pressure on West Texas last Thursday night. And so there's a lot of guys, you don't want to leave anybody out. I know they got at least one big offensive lineman from last year's team that was a key player, and I'll look up his name real quick. Bryce, will you give your thoughts?
Well, so yes, I think y'all hit the nail on the head with several of those guys. Of course, the game I saw them, Devin Eanes was the star. He put on a show that night, and so I may be a little biased in going with Eanes, but I think he's been a pretty reliable playmaker all year for them. And you see the speed. He makes plays on both sides of the ball. Of course, several of them do. I mean, I think Carson Roberts is one of those guys too that, not only is he quarterbacking, this team to a state championship, but he's also a very key defensive player for the Bulldogs, along with Eanes, along with Colton De La Garza. That's why I think it's hard to pick out their best player, but I kind of lean toward Eanes, uh, like y'all said. I mean, to me, he's the guy that's like a big play waiting to happen, and um, you know, hopefully for Hamilton's sake, he can do that on the stage in Jerryworld this week. Who are you going to mention, Chad?
I think Hector Nahara is the kid, number 53 for them that I had a photo of last year, a really good one from their Thanksgiving week game. But
Hmm.
I'm trying to confirm
Well,
that
their
within my
big
file.
lineman last year was Nick Adams, and I think he graduated.
That's the one. That's the one that I was thinking of from
Yeah,
last year.
yeah.
Yeah,
Nick
yeah.
Adams was kind of their big hoss. All right, so going into our 17th week of high school football. I mean, first of all, it does feel like just yesterday that we were writing all our preview stuff and calling up coaches and and now here it's December, but um we've obviously all seen our fair share of games this year. All of us have had weeks where we've covered multiple games. Um, are there one or two that stand out to you as kind of the most memorable that you saw?
Well, I'll jump in. I really thought last Thursday night it started to feel like one of those great high school football games, and it ended up not having the suspense because of the way Hamilton handled things in the second half. But yeah, I believe, and I know West Texas took the lead. They had the initial lead, and there was just a lot like that tension of is West Texas going to take over this thing? And then the momentum flip of where Hamilton all of a sudden had the momentum, and Hamilton was getting the stops on defense to really take control of that game. And honestly, I don't feel like there's been that many times this season that I've watched a game thinking I don't know who's going to end up winning this. Now, one game I can think of is Robinson's comeback victory over Glenrose earlier in the season. I think they were down 20 points and came back and won that game. That was a fantastic ball game. So yeah, those are my two answers, I suppose.
Michael?
Um, I would have thought you were going to say Bart and Fremont part one, Chad, because I mean, with the clock issues and how weird that game was, I thought maybe that would be most memorable. But so for me, there's a couple that come to mind. I think the first one, as I thought about that question, that came straight to my head was that Robinson La Vega game that basically decided the district championship,
Hmm.
um, where Robinson looked like it was in position to maybe win that game or have a really good chance of doing so, and then just that unfortunate bounce off the Robinson player's helmet on that punt that just gave La Vega a chance to, take the lead and then hold on for the win. That game, I don't know if I've seen a better game this year, maybe outside of that Hamilton one that we had just talked about, Chad. But um, another one that comes to mind, University's big win over Brenham at
Mm-hmm.
home, just the
Hmm.
absolute domination. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that was an eye-opening game, just because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, these are the Trojans that they thought they could be. This is everything they've been working the last three plus years. Um, those are the two. If I can give a third real quick,
Yeah.
the only other one that I think, just in terms of how good of a game it was, um, Fairfield Yoakum
Mm-hmm.
in that area round of the playoffs, 3A Division One. That was a fantastic game. And by the way, Yoakum playing for a state championship this week. They beat Columbus. So yeah, man, Yoakum's good, and the way that game was played makes me almost feel like Fairfield should kind of feel good about itself because Fairfield was maybe a three game too.
Um, yeah, I was going to say, with Yoakum playing in the state championship game, people can get that Victory Network. I might get that Victory Network this week, just to be able to watch games on Thursday and Friday. I'll be driving to New Mexico on Saturday, but watching Jamarcus Robinson, Yoakum's running back, might be the price of the Victory Network for a month. Plus, then you get to watch the maps too, I assume. So
Oh, who wants to watch that?
I threw that in there just for Bryce.
Uh,
Yeah,
I'll mention a couple. I'm going to start with China Spring Bastrop. Um, Unfortunately for the local teams, the two I'm going to mention, they both lost, the local teams. But so that game was 48-34 Bastrop. And we talked about it at the time, but it was the ultimate tale of two halves game. Um, China Spring is winning 34-21 at halftime, looking like, they could do no wrong. And then Bastrop outscored them 27 zip in the second half. China Spring had a lot of turnovers. And it was just it was like playing two games, literally. I mean, it was like, two different teams came out of the locker room at halftime. And we've all seen that before, but
The
uh,
worm turned on him.
yeah, no
Yep.
doubt. And Bastrop was really good. Um, but yeah, I mean, I do think the quality of opponent that China Spring played um, helped the Cougars, as they got into the playoffs and pulled a big upset over Belleville. So, all right, the other one I'll mention is of all the Midway games I covered this year, I mean, the most memorable one was their only blemish of the regular season, which is the Harker Heights game.
Ooh.
Man, I mean, Midway goes 9-1, had a pretty good chance to go 10-0 in the regular season. But again, I talked about it at the time. They had a really tough call go against them, where uh, was it Satterfield or was it Wissington that broke it? I think it was Lathan that broke a nice long kickoff return into Harker Heights territory, and it was down the Midway sideline, and somehow a flag comes flying in from the Harker Heights sideline, the judge on that side, and they called holding, and instead Midway starts from its own inside the 10, I don't know. And
Oh, dang.
yeah, and then a few plays after that, Lathan fumbles. He's not really known for fumbling, but it was just kind of one of those, oh, we have the momentum. Oh, no, we don't.
Mhm.
Harker Heights scores and ends up winning that game and, winning another district championship. Um, I think for Midway to take the next step, it's got to win games like those. But obviously, still a great season for Midway. 9-2 overall. Your only losses are to Harker Heights and Waxahachie, two very good teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, they're building something there with Joe Gillespie. But those were the two most memorable. Like I said, uh, kind of stinging for the local teams there, the Panthers and the Cougars. But before we sign off, I do want to talk some more basketball. Let's do some basketball shout outs. Who are you giving love to, whether it's a team, a player, coach, whatever?
Well, I gotta say, I gotta hand it to our basketball junkie over here. I had my Christmas party the other night, but he's too busy covering basketball. He won't stop. He's all over it, and
Boy loves
and
him some
actually, I
hoops,
love to see it because
man.
I love
He's a
basketball.
kid after my own
Man,
heart.
hmm
He's a kid
Uh,
after my own
that's
heart.
right.
the other thing is, I
That's
thought
right.
about this question earlier today. Is I feel like Summer Johnson at Lorena is starting to call back a little bit of that Ashley James from Robinson back in the day.
Wow.
Just a
Okay.
real heady, real tough point guard.
Hmm.
Knows how to play and gets after it and has can shoot and but can also find the open person and I want to see her play football because apparently she's a big flag football recruit.
Yeah, Michael did a story on her getting some offers in football for her flag football prowess. So pretty
Yeah,
cool stuff. Yeah, Michael,
she's
you've
she's
had a
really good.
chance. Yeah, you've had a chance now to see a few teams. Who are you shouting out?
Yeah, there's several that come to mind. I actually haven't written a story on them yet, but the Bosqueville boys are playing really good basketball right now. And these Bulldogs have kind of dealt with their fair share of injuries throughout this early part of the year. But I have actually watched them play a game. I didn't write a story on the game. They played Whitney This was, I think, the season opener for them, and Whitney was still missing their football guys, so it wasn't really like, a necessarily like fair assessment of Whitney. But Bosqueville just ran him out of the gym, and with Keller Silver, senior guard, who can just score at all three levels, really shifty, really crafty. I mean, when he gets to that mid-range pull-up, it's automatic. He's really good. And then with their 6'7" or 6'8" post, Bates Dyer, who we talked about on the podcast too, that duo right there is really good.
So Michael, I
watch.
tagged you on Facebook. Did you get this? Did you ever see it? Keller, Laren Silver, Keller's dad, had posted this video the other day on Facebook of this dunk from Bates Dyer.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, I tagged you on Facebook, but yeah, it's I'll see if we can't maybe add it to the pod, but it's legit. It's a good, just two-handed over a guy jam. Yeah. And apparently in that game, Laren said, and we think he had a triple double with blocks too.
Oh gosh.
So
okay, wow.
That's pretty impressive stuff. I will shout out
Bosqueville basketball. It's got a little bit of a ring to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll shout out Kellen Collins from Mahia. Of course, he's the reigning Super Centex Player of the Year. But just this week, or just the other day, surpassed 2,000 points for his high school career.
Impressive.
Pretty impressive.
He's been filling it up for a long time for the Black Cat.
I mean, he really has. I'll give you some quick numbers. So as a freshman, of course, he was the district newcomer of the year. He averaged 13.3 points, 4 assists, which is pretty good as a 14-year-old. The next year, he was like right at 19 points and 3.3 assists as a sophomore. And then the next year, last year, when he won Super Centex Player of the Year, 21 and a half points, 3.7 assists, 2.5 steals. This year, according to Max Preps, and their numbers look pretty close to being
legit,
up to date. 26 and a half points. So he's just gone up every year, which you love to see that. 26 and a half points a game, 4.5 assists, almost 2 steals. So,
and that's really amazing when you think about how most high school basketball games are settled between 45 and 60 points.
Yes, and
right.
I mean, you're only talking about 8-minute quarters. So when you're putting up 26 and a half points in a 32-minute game,
with no shot clock,
right, you're filling up the nets pretty good.
Right.
And Kellen Collins is a special guy.
With him, I looked at his numbers like last week, Bryce, and there was I think through like 10 or 12 games this year, he was averaging over 30 at one point. And then he played in that Robinson tournament, had to play against, 5A University, who kind of clamped him down. So I think those numbers you're seeing, they have slightly dipped, but he was over 30 points a game at one point this year.
Well, that'll help Mahia once they get in the playoffs, and because they're not going to be playing a university in the 3A playoffs, So I think they made the regional semis, I want to say, last year. So
Correct.
We'll see if Collins and the guys can make a little bit deeper run this year, maybe make a run at state. Rappaport showed the way, man.
That would be exciting.
It can be done. So, all right, good stuff. Y'all will both be at Jerryworld on Wednesday.
We'll be at Jerryworld as Hamilton takes the big stage. And hey, yo, let me just say, the Hamilton Bulldogs are just like their country. They're young, scrappy, and hungry, and they're not throwing away their shot.
What are we doing?
That, of course, is from the musical Hamilton.
All right. See ya, Alexander Hamilton. Thank you.